They rejected you good, because Marcus Aurelius was rejected too by people by fate and even by his own doubts. At 6 a.m., everything changed. Not because the world shifted, but because he did. And in that single moment of clarity, he discovered the truth. Rejection is not a dead end. It's a redirection toward where you truly belong. Every no you ever heard wasn't life shutting a door. It was life whispering. Not this one, the right one is ahead. The Stoics believed what stands in the way becomes the way. So today I'll show you the 6 a.m. Stoic Method, the morning ritual that turns rejection into strength, silence into clarity, and fear into unstoppable momentum. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need discipline and the right mindset at dawn. If you've ever felt rejected, forgotten, or underestimated, this message is for you. And maybe this is the morning everything changes. Part 1, the Stoic truth about rejection. They rejected you good. Say it with me, good. Because rejection is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of direction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacle is not your enemy. The obstacle is your compass. If they shut the door on you, maybe it wasn't your door. Let's start with a moment of truth. Over 70% of successful entrepreneurs face major rejection before their breakthrough. J.K. Rowling rejected by 12 publishers. Colonel Sanders turned down 1 or 9 times. Walt Disney was told you lack imagination. What if they had taken it personally and stopped? You would never have known Harry Potter. You would never have eaten KFC. There would be no Disney. Take a deep breath. Reset your mind. The Stoics believe that emotions are signals, not commands. Rejection is not proof of failure. It is feedback. It's life whispering, "Not this way. Find another route." In modern psychology, this is called cognitive reframing, turning pain into purpose. Neuroscience shows that when we expect rejection, the brain releases cortisol. Stress rises. But when we train our mind to interpret rejection as information instead of an insult, the prefrontal cortex activates, giving us clarity, logic, and control. This is exactly how the Stoics thought. They believed you may not control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. And Marcus Aurelius, he wasn't born powerful. He was often doubted, underestimated, pushed aside. He faced political rejection, physical pain, and betrayal. But he wrote every morning in his diary, a diary we now call Meditations, reminding himself that rejection is temporary, but character is permanent. Here's a powerful exercise, your first Stoic reset. Say this out loud with me. Rejection does not define me. My response does. Let that sink in. Because the world doesn't reward those who never fail. The world rewards those who keep moving forward even when every door seems locked. Let me tell you a story. In 1968, a man named Spencer Silver tried to invent a powerful adhesive for 3M. He failed. What he created was too weak. The company rejected it. Useless. But years later, another employee, Art Fry, needed a bookmark that wouldn't fall out during choir practice. He remembered Silver's failed adhesive. That failure became the Post-it note. Today, it generates over $1 billion a year. Say it with me, rejection is redirection. Keep breathing. Keep the mind sharp. Because the Stoic secret is perspective. They didn't take rejection personally. They took it strategically. They asked, what can I learn from this? What does this rejection teach me? How can I adapt? Here's a fact: studies from Harvard Business Review found that people who reframe rejection within 60 seconds of experiencing it recover 3 times faster emotionally and are 42% more likely to try again. That's Stoicism applied to psychology. Let me share another Stoic quote for our journey. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is not philosophy, it is survival. Every time you take rejection personally, you lose energy. But when you view it as feedback, you gain direction. Try this practical exercise. Whenever someone rejects you, a job, a business pitch, a relationship, write this. What did I expect? What actually happened? What can I control next? This is called the Stoic Control Journal. It rewires your mind for clarity. Remember, pain can rush reflection, sugar, and growth. Because here's the bitter truth. If all doors open for you easily, you would never grow. Rejection forces you to improve. Rejection pushes you to invent. Rejection makes your success undeniable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The ones who rejected you, they don't decide your future. What decides your future is what you do next. This is the moment where most people give up, but you won't. Because you now understand rejection is not personal, it is directional. And this leads us to something powerful, something Marcus Aurelius did every single morning, a method that turns rejection into clarity and clarity into momentum. It happens at 6 a.m., and it changes everything. Part 2, the 6 a.m. Stoic Method. Welcome to 6 a.m., the hour of clarity, the moment when the world is quiet and your mind is loud. This is when decisions become destiny, when discipline beats doubt. This is the hour Marcus Aurelius built his empire not outside, but within. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait for approval. He built a fortress in his mind before he ever stepped into the world. And that fortress began every single morning at 6 a.m. Say it with me, I build before I begin. Take a breath, reset your mind. Because right now we are entering the 6 a.m. Stoic Method. Step 1, wake up with purpose. At 6 a.m., most people grab their phone, but Stoics grab control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to act, to love." Modern studies show that checking your phone first thing in the morning raises anxiety levels by 52% and reduces focus for the next 3 hours. That means the first thing you see controls your mind. But Stoics choose differently. They grab a notebook and write one simple question: what depends on me and what doesn't? Because clarity is power, and when you remove what you cannot control, your energy returns to what you can control. This is how leaders think. This is how warriors think. This is how empires are built, not through stress, but through strategy. Say it with me. I control my effort, not the outcome. Breathe, reset, prepare for the next step. Step 2, negative visualization. This may surprise you. Stoics prepared for rejection before it happened. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evil. They imagined failure not to feel fear, but to eliminate it. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. So close your eyes." Imagine failing again, the unanswered email, the closed door, the opportunity slipping away. Feel it. And now ask, what is my next move? This transforms the brain. Neuroscience shows that when we mentally rehearse failure and plan our response, anxiety drops by 35% and confidence rises. The mind is no longer surprised, it is prepared. This is your Stoic shield. No more fear, only strategy. Say it with me, I do not fear what I am prepared for. Reset, breathe, continue. Step 3, action without permission. This is the hardest step because the world trained us to wait. Wait for approval, wait for validation, wait for confidence. But the Stoics didn't wait. Romans didn't wait. They built roads across continents without permission. They didn't need applause. They needed discipline. Say this aloud, I move without applause. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not the critic who counts. Your duty is to act and remain unmoved by praise or blame. Your dream doesn't need validation, it needs action. So send the email, post the video, start the business, knock on the next door, because nobody's coming to crown you, but one day they will ask how you did it, and you'll answer, I moved when others waited." Take a deep breath, lift your shoulders. Say it slowly, action is my ally. The 6 a.m. Stoic routine. Real practice, try this for 7 days and rejection will never control you again. At 6:00 a.m., write what can I control today. At 6:10 a.m., visualize rejection, plan your response. At 6:20 a.m., take one action without permission. Small actions compound. Research from Stanford shows that consistent morning routines reduce emotional volatility by 47% and increase problem-solving ability by 63%. That's not motivation, that's neuroscience, that's stoicism in practice. Say it with me, I am not controlled by rejection, I am guided by it. Now you know how to face the morning, but what about your fears? What about the silent enemy inside your own mind? Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, illness, and political chaos, but his greatest battle was always against himself. Every rejection was not a wall, it was a test, and every closed door shaped the emperor he became. So ask yourself now, what if rejection is not the end but preparation? Because in the next part, we uncover the Stoic secret of selection, why rejection might not be against you, but choosing you for something greater. Take a breath. Let's cross that threshold. Part 3 begins now. Part 3, the Stoic lesson from rejection. They rejected you. They ignored you. They doubted you. But what if they were not dismissing you, they were shaping you? What if rejection was never the end but the beginning? Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, illness, and political chaos. But his greatest enemy was never the world. It was the voice inside his mind, the voice that whispered, "You are not enough." And yet every time rejection appeared, Marcus used it as a teacher. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, rejection is not the end. It is selection. The wrong doors must close so the right doors can open. Say it with me, every no prepares me for my yes. Take a breath. Reset your mind. We continue. Think about this carefully. Walt Disney was fired because he lacked creativity. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Einstein was labeled slow. Beethoven's music teacher said he had no talent. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Today their names echo through history. Why? Because they all understood a deep Stoic truth. Rejection is feedback, not fate. Let that settle in. Say it with me. Rejection frees me to focus. Continue. Do not lose your rhythm. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Stoics didn't ask, why did they reject me? They asked, what am I now free to pursue? That shift in mindset changed everything. A study from UCLA found that the brain processes rejection the same way it processes physical pain. That's right. Rejection literally hurts your brain. But here's the twist. The same study showed that reframing rejection reduces emotional pain by up to 70%. That means Stoicism isn't just wise, it's neurologically effective. When a Stoic hears no, they don't collapse, they adjust. They ask, what did I learn? Where should I redirect? What door should I try next? This isn't weakness. This is mental alchemy, turning pain into power. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, no tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell, meaning your depth comes from your difficulty. So say it with me. Rejection makes me stronger, not smaller. Take a breath, reset, stay focused. Did you know that a diamond forms under 725,000 pounds per square inch of pressure? Without pressure, it stays a stone. Without heat, it never shines. Just like us. Marcus didn't become emperor because life was easy. He became emperor because he was shaped by pressure. He understood what Viktor Frankl later said. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Every rejection was not punishment, it was preparation. So ask yourself right now, are you being buried or being formed? Take a breath, feel that question. Because your answer may change everything. Try this tonight. Before sleep, write 3 rejections from your past. Then answer, what did I learn because of this rejection? What opportunity became possible after it? How did it make me stronger? This is called the rejection audit. Try it for 7 days and you will watch pain turn into wisdom. Because wisdom is not born from comfort. Wisdom is forged in challenge. Say it with me. Every rejection carries a lesson. Take a breath. Reset. Continue. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations to become famous. He wrote it to survive his own thoughts. He understood the most powerful Stoic lesson of all. You are not rejected, you are redirected. Maybe the door closed because you were not ready. Maybe it closed because something greater needed time to form. Maybe rejection is not pushing you away, it's guiding you to where you truly belong. Steve Jobs once said, you can't connect the dots looking forward only backward. Maybe you can't see it yet, but someday it will make sense. Say it with me slowly. Rejection does not break me, it builds me. The Stoics believe this. The event is never the problem. The interpretation is. That means it wasn't the rejection that hurt you, it was the meaning you gave it. It wasn't the silence that crushed you. It was the belief that you weren't worthy. It wasn't the failure that defeated you. It was your decision to stop. So here is the turning point. The story isn't over unless you decide it is. Take a breath. Let that truth settle in. So now the question is clear. How do we apply this? How do we turn philosophy into action? How do we take Stoic wisdom and build our own discipline, our own direction, our own destiny? In the next part, we create your personal blueprint, a real-world framework to turn rejection into momentum, to make discipline stronger than doubt, to open the right doors at the right time. Take a deep breath. You're closer than you think. Our next step is not belief, it is action. Part 4. How you apply this today. Rejection is no longer your enemy. Now it becomes your energy. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside you is ready to change. This is the turning point. This is the moment where philosophy becomes practice, where words become action, where thoughts become transformation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop waiting. Start building. Stop overthinking. Start becoming. Because Stoicism is not passive, it is power exercised through action. This is where we turn Stoicism into a practical system, a personal blueprint, a real-world discipline, your daily ritual to transform rejection into direction, your 6 a.m. Stoic method, the 6 a.m. Stoic routine, your 7-day practice. If you try this for just 7 days, something will shift inside you, not because the world changed, but because you did. Here is your blueprint. At 6 or 0 a.m., write, "What can I control today?" This filters noise from clarity. You reclaim your energy. At 6:10 a.m., visualize rejection. Prepare your response. Rejection will no longer surprise you, it will strengthen you. At 6:20 a.m., take one action without permission. Send the email. Post the content. Make the call. Start the thing. That's it. Simple, direct, powerful. And if you do it not once, but repeatedly, you begin rewiring your brain. This is not motivation. This is not luck. This is neuroplasticity, the ability to change your mental patterns using repetition and intention. A study at Stanford University found that people who follow a structured morning routine reduce emotional reactivity by 47% and increase problem-solving ability by 63%. This is not hype. It is not magic. It is neuroscience. This is mental architecture. Your mind built by design. So say it with me with strength. This time I act before I feel ready. The only tools you need. People ask, what do I need to start? The answer, almost nothing. Just 3 tools. Tool 1, a pen, to give form to your thoughts, to organize your chaos. Tool 2, a timer, to remind your mind that structure creates power. Tool 3, a decision, because nothing begins without one. Bill Gates once said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. The Stoics would say, stop estimating, start executing, just begin and compound destiny through discipline. Say it with me, I begin before I am ready. Breathe, reset, continue. Why most people never change. Most people think change requires motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for motivation. Roman soldiers didn't wait for motivation. They acted with or without it. Why? Because motivation is a feeling, but discipline is a choice. Epictetus said it clearly. First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Success is rarely loud. It is quiet. It begins at 6 a.m. when nobody's watching. It begins when you choose discomfort over delay, when you choose movement over fear, when you choose your future over your excuses. Say it with me. Discipline builds the door and action opens it. Deep breath, reset, continue. The power of consistency. Most people quit before results appear. They think small progress means failure. But let me remind you, the gym won't change your body in one workout. A book won't change your mind in one page. A routine won't change your life in one day. But compound effort, consistent effort, persistent effort can transform any life. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, wrote, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." That means when you write at 6 a.m., you're voting. When you visualize, you're voting. When you act, you're voting. You're saying, I choose progress today. Say it with me, I am casting votes for my future. Inhale, exhale, let that land. Why 6 a.m., the hour of advantage? At 6 a.m., the world is quiet. Your mind is clear. Your will is raw, untouched by distraction. According to studies from the University of Toronto and Harvard Medical School, early risers report higher optimism, stronger consistency, and greater decision-making clarity than those who begin their day in chaos. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote, "When you rise in the morning, tell yourself, I will meet difficult people today, but I will not be shaken." That is not poetry. That is emotional armor. That is how emperors think. Take a breath, reset, continue. A simple exercise, the morning reset. When you wake before your mind starts racing, ask just 3 questions. What can I control today? What challenge might appear? And how will I respond? What single action will move me forward? This is called the morning reset. Do it daily. You will notice something powerful. Your mind stops reacting and starts leading. Say it with me. My mind leads my day, not my emotions. Breathe, reset, continue. The Stoic view of destiny. Maybe you won't become an emperor like Marcus Aurelius, but you can become the ruler of the only kingdom that truly matters, your mind, because the one who rules their mind rules their life. Marcus wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Steve Jobs echoed this idea centuries later. Remembering you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You don't have forever, but you do have this moment, and this moment determines what you become. So say it with me one last time. Rejection does not break me. It prepares me. Your next step, the door. If this message spoke to you, maybe it was meant for you. So don't just watch. Begin. Share this with someone who needs strength right now. And subscribe, because in the next episode, we uncover the mindset Marcus Aurelius used to win, even when he had no motivation left. This journey doesn't end here. This was the first door. Now it's your turn to walk through it, to step into discipline, to choose direction over doubt. The 6 a.m. Stoic Method begins tomorrow, or better, it begins now. If this message hits you, maybe it was meant for you. Don't just watch a start. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The secret to all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious." So if something in your mind shifted today, don't ignore it, honor it, act on it. Take the first step like this video, share it with someone who needs strength right now, and subscribe to Making Life Better. Because next week we go even deeper into the Stoic mindset, how to win even when you have zero motivation. Steve Jobs said the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe this is the signal you've been waiting for. One small shift can redirect an entire life. Remember, action changes destiny. So comment below one word that defines your current mindset, your declaration, your intention, your turning point. It could be resilient, ready, unstoppable, awakening. Say it and own it. Tony Robbins says decisions shape destiny. So decide right now that this is not just another video. This is a door. And the moment you step through it, everything begins.